I was absolutely fried. This week I'm a little tired. I had a staff meeting this morning, as it's not unusual, and then we had executive council meeting with the companions, and that was most of the afternoon. And then I had a finance meeting this evening, and all of this is much of this is online, not all of it, but so it makes for a long day. There's something called Zoom fatigue. I think you do a lot of media like this, and again, doing a video is one thing, but to watch other people and try to read them, and it just gets a bit tiring. But at the end of it, it's a good day. I've got some good work done today, and feeling better about the parish. Tonight, the finances was kind of interesting because we're if I mentioned this openly or not, but the grant money for the salaries is starting to come to us. So we're receiving a monthly kind of amount from the government, and it's quite good. I think we don't really sure of all that because we went in with the diocese as a whole body. So it was a bit harder in the front end, but I think on the back end it seems to be coming fairly well, and we have people taking care of that on the diocesan side. So there we are. So things are reasonable. We're going to put together a financial report because this year's been so strange. We weren't able to report in the spring. The little report that we gave, I think early on in the summer, it was really inadequate. We didn't have all the numbers yet. Like things were just really up in the air. But we're getting a better handle on where we are right now. And really, it's I won't say that. I'm never going to say that we have more than we need, but we seem to be doing okay. And again, we are meeting our financial council, and we all kind of agree it's good stuff. So what I want to talk a little bit about tonight, it's kind of interesting. Like it's a strange position to be in. I feel when we did open in June, that was a lot, and into July even, trying to get our protocols right, trying to establish this. Like we had, so the requirements that we had to do in order to operate, and not a lot of direction directly on how to do that. And so we took a certain tack on that, and safety, trying to make that paramount. And I know there was some resistance to it, not resistance, but there are different opinions, and this thing's been dragging on, and it's hard. It's hard. I get that. I think most of us, including me, wanted to go back kind of the way it was, and that just didn't happen, and it won't happen for a while, I'm afraid. We kind of got through that, and I think we've established a pretty good baseline. Now we got into September, and we said when the young people go back to school, that's going to be a big watershed, and it was. And the numbers are ticking up, and now Ontario seems to be our Ottawa in Ontario is sort of one of those hotspots. In fact, I think we're declared a red zone now, right? So the numbers are going up, and we knew that. That's not a total surprise. We knew the numbers were going to go up. How far would they go? How do we manage it? But we do have this baseline. Like we have now protocols in place. We've got people that are taking care of things. We've got our system down. Not everyone likes the system. I don't know if I like the system, but anyway, we have a system, and it's been working fairly well. What's moved into now, it's interesting, for up until now, I've had people are concerned that we're maybe doing too much. Now there's some questions about, are we doing enough? And those are legitimate. Like, are we following our protocols as we have them? And with the newer numbers, are we really taking that seriously, and doing the things we're being asked to do? So both getting concerns that we're doing too much and maybe not enough puts us about where I wanted us to be, which is somewhere in the middle. We're kind of in that middle ground where we can pivot either way depending on how things go. Now, I'm not saying it's ideal being in the middle, but at least we're somewhere. And I think we have a system. In fact, we are now in a place where I think we can start to even open up a bit more. So the 12 o'clock mass, which was right out of the box, we had the last 2 weeks now we've done that, and it's been well attended. Already a more popular mass than some of the others. So that's good news. So we're going to continue that, of course. Now we're starting to look at weekdays. Now weekdays are a little bit different. Right now we have a Wednesday mass, and we've been doing a Thursday super bubble mass. No, I'm sorry, Friday super bubble. Now, what's a super bubble? Well, this is for people who have really no other option. They simply can't come. They have underlying health conditions, and they're just very frail. And wearing the mask is a great burden to them. And so what we do is we only take in a few, maybe 6 or 7 at the most. Actually, even 5 is probably where we're at. And it could be couples, it could be individuals. And we spread them out so far that they can take their mask off if they need to. And it's almost like 30 feet. And that I mean, for some of these people, it's the first time they've been in church at all anywhere in 6 months. And some, it's barely the first time they've been out of their houses. Like it's very, very edifying. to be able to do that. So that's going to continue. I think the Super Bubble on Fridays will continue. We were waiting for another outreach that we've started. Really, a group of people in the parish initiated it, a seniors outreach, and this was developed from the phone tree that we did at the beginning, and we recognized there were a few people that were a little bit isolated, and so they've really pulled together this great team, and they want to initiate this. And I'll be hearing more about this, but it's really going to kick off in November. But one of the ideas is to create another sort of seniors mass, which may well end up on Wednesdays at noon. So that would be, a Wednesday mass, but it'd be a little bit later, and it would give some of our seniors that are a little more vulnerable a chance. Maybe not as much as a Super Bubble, but it would be a particular mass, for that intention. And I think that's a great initiative. Well, okay, what about Tuesdays and Thursdays? Well, I think those can start to open up now. It's kind of ironic at a time when they're closing down some things like gyms and restaurants. I feel terrible for people caught in small businesses are trying to stay open, but we can at this point, at least. I haven't heard anything more about us being closed down, so we can start talking about opening it. And what's made that possible is the protocols that we put in place. So I think if we continue to do that, we can continue to be safe. We can continue to do the things we need to do and start opening up those masses. So we're going to concentrate, I think, on the Thursday first. And if we can fill that up, then the Tuesday as well. Now, what's really holding this back, almost really from the beginning, are volunteers. We don't need huge numbers, but we do need people to step up and take a turn at both a bit of a hosting, which we can kind of get by on. Weekday masses are easier because you all know the routine. But the cleaning. We have Glenn, of course, and he does help clean during the week, but to have a few people to help him, like every other week kind of thing, or even less, possibly if we get enough volunteers, that's really the key to the thing. So if you've been coming to Mass and you're kind of getting into the routine and you've sort of seen us do this, and you're willing to stay back for another 15 minutes or so and just help with some of the cleaning, that really accelerates everything. And my real hope was to have that up and moving in November, or maybe even before that if we get enough volunteers. So again, trying this is what we've been doing is doing like a little test mass and then seeing how it flows, and then we can expand it and then hopefully hang on to that. So that's the hope, and it would, so whatever a weekday look like. I think Monday will continue to be online. Tuesday would be an open mass, hopefully if we have enough volunteers. Wednesday would be a senior mass at noon, not the 9. Thursday would go back to a noon mass, or I'm sorry, a 9 o'clock mass as we have in the past. And then the Super Bubble on Friday. And probably for now, Saturday remains where it is as a online mass. But that can change too. Again, really what's driving this mostly, like we're saying mass every day. From the priest perspective, it's not any more work, right? We say mass as we always do. Giving out communion is not hard to do. We were happy to do that. It's the volunteers for both the registering and then the online or the cleaning afterwards. So those ideas. So just letting you know that it's out there. If you're considering doing that, if you're willing to do that, not every day or all the time, but at least occasionally. And we have enough people trained up now, I think, that they've seen the system work on enough times that they can be captains for that. So I want a little shout out too. We're running Alpha. I did a little Alpha last night. It was it's on Tuesday nights. We're doing it online. I think we had 40 plus people, I think, that are participating from all over the place. It's kind of interesting. It's a bit wider than it has been in the past because, of course, you can join from anywhere. So wonderful. Caitlin's just and her team are, of course, putting together really. It seems to be going really well. So just quite pleased with that. Again, these things are continuing. You should know that. This Sunday, we're going to begin sort of another, almost like after Alpha. What do you do? Well, continuing adult formation, right? Adult formation, faith formation, and Patricia's put together those two programs. One of them's Robert Barron, it's a bit like Alpha if you've done Alpha. He gives talks and is the faith reasonable? And if you were almost like arguing, arguing's a bad word, but it's like apologetics was the fancy word for it. How do you explain the faith to people who just didn't grow up Catholic, or if they did, it was a long time ago, and just trying to present the faith in a very reasonable way. And then the other program that's going to be running at pretty much the same time if we get enough people, and that's going to be on discernment of, Ignatian discernment of spirits. So a sense of almost like that inner working of your life what is God speaking into your experiences, and often if you just are more aware, and any of us, we're just so busy, we're running around, we don't do that, we miss those things, and so that can tell you a whole lot of what's going on, and discerning what God might be speaking to you. So that's pretty cool. So again, Alpha's going well. I think it's good. Patricia's kind of lined up these two things with us: the Robert Barron series, and then also the Ignatian Spirituality. And those are good things, that continues on. It's good to know that. And finally, I thought it was just to throw in a big thank you. We talked about Thanksgiving last weekend when Father John was preaching, and so I didn't get to say it as much. I mean, as a presider, I said it a few times, but I'm just very thankful for all the people that are doing so much. It's been a strange time. This is unprecedented. And yet what we're seeing is people are stepping up, and they're getting involved, and they're willing to do things in a different way. And it's not always ideal, and it takes a certain kind of, I guess, a openness, a willingness, flexibility, but generally speaking, it's getting done. And again, as I say, we're positioning ourselves in a way that we can continue on as we are. We can tighten up a little bit more if we have to, or we can pivot over and hopefully before too long start to even open up even more. But that's the hope. So I hope that wasn't confusing. I'm sorry if I got my dates and numbers a little bit wrong. It's just I say it's been the end of a long day, and I'm done. I'm so done. When this camera turns off, I'm in for the night. But I did want to share that with you. This is our tradition we've started a while ago, Wednesday night chats. So there it is. Again, and even this, I'd like to develop a bit more. So at this point, it's all one-sided. I'm speaking to you, but to have more of a kind of a Zoom opportunity where you can kind of log in and we can talk. We're getting better at that. My finance meeting we just had, it was just neat to see them all, and yeah, I'd rather have them in the room with me, but if I can't, maybe that's the second best thing we can do. So God bless you all. The good Lord watch over, guide, and protect you. I hope you are getting outside to enjoy some of this great weather. We know in another couple of weeks it's going to get colder, and we may lose the leaves. They're so beautiful. Take care of each other, and let's get to that next level. May the good Lord watch over, guide, and protect you. May the saints and angels indeed intercede for you, and may our Blessed Mother wrap you in the mantle of her peace. May God may God bless you and keep you. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.